Phases of the moon. The moon's rays reflect the sun's light at different angles during the course of a month. The lunar cycle depicted here begins at the new moon, which is the dark moon. The light of the moon increases until it peaks at the full moon. After the full moon, light begins to decrease until it returns to the new moon. New moon. The sun and moon are conjunct on the chart. A new moon signifies a beginning in the areas of the conjunction. Thought and emotion come together for a new idea, activity, hobby, trip, or study project. It is thought that is important now. Crescent moon. As the light increases, energy rises, and the urge to assert and do will be felt. Be confident at this time and have faith in ideas, but don't be overly assertive. The idea has not yet been worked out all the way. First quarter moon. This moon phase is energetic. On the chart, the sun and moon are square to each other. A challenge is present. The tension born by the square impels you to action. Don't be too pushy. People are agitated during a square aspect. Gibbous moon. The light and energy are building. People feel the peak coming. At this time, there is a clearer sense of understanding. Be aware, but don't expect too much. Full moon. This moon phase brings a strong and restless feel. In the chart, the sun and moon are polar opposites on the wheel. There is an opportunity to see clearly and be objective. This helps reach a sense of balance about whatever one's attention is turned to. Alone, each luminary is equal and will balance. Remember, the moon loves whatever it touches. Conflicts could occur. Disseminating moon. There is a lot of light or energy left to tie things together and teach others what has been learned. Demonstrate talents and advertise. Don't be too pushy. Last quarter moon. Energies here tend toward action. On the chart, the sun and moon form a square position. This is a challenge to action. One must apply what was learned and harvest. Don't be too stubborn. People are agitated during a square aspect. Balsamic moon. This produces just enough energy or light to complete projects and begin dreaming of the next endeavor that will begin on the following new moon. Look to the future. Back to the new moon. The dark moon tends toward thought and dreams. The full moon tends toward the culmination of the thought. The phases of the moon from new to full are positive. The increase is known as the waxing of the moon. The phases of the moon from full to new are negative. The decrease is known as the waning of the moon. And the moon goes through these cycles every month, once. Each month the moon goes through phases, signaling the passage of time. Note areas of both new moons and full moons in the chart. When the moon is full on a person's sun or moon, it is a cue that one will be highlighted by the universe somehow, or spotlighted in some way. Moon eclipses. Lunar eclipses occur at least twice a year. Turn inward to use the intense energy focused on the dark side of the moon. Sun eclipses. In ancient days, people believed solar eclipses caused war, drought, death of great men, famine, murder, and calamity in general. According to legend, those who kept their cool were victorious. Mass fear was an instinctive negative reaction. Listen to intuition at this time and rely on skills. Whether solar or lunar, all eclipses portend disaster. Decanties. Each astrological sign can be further divided into 10-degree increments called decanties. The first decantee of any sign is ruled by the same planet that rules the sun sign. The second decantee of the sign is ruled by the ruler of the next sign counterclockwise of the same element. The third decantee of the sign is ruled by the planetary ruler of the next sign counterclockwise of the same element. 0 to 10 degrees equals the first decantee. 10 to 20 degrees equals the second decantee. 20 to 30 degrees equals the third decantee of any sign. Signs on the inside or outside can be divided. Decanties are important because they reveal hidden talents that few others have, denoted by a planet located in a sign that is not ruled by the planet but instead the planet can be the ruler of the decantee, making it stronger and more effective. Each astrological sun sign has a planetary ruler. That is where the sign gets its personality. When a planet is located in its own ruling sign or co-ruling sign, it is able to act in a more powerful way. This increases its planetary strength and is able to function well, unless otherwise afflicted. The opposite sign on the wheel from a planetary ruler or co-ruler is said to be the sign of its detriment. A planet is unable to act strongly in the sign of its detriment. This is considered an affliction to the planet's energy. Planets are also able to act more strongly in some signs where their energies are exalted. This is very similar to being a ruler or co-ruler. The opposite sign on the wheel of their sign of exaltation is known as the sign of their fall. This is very similar to planetary energy in their detriment. When choosing a vocation, it is best to know upfront where our greatest talents lie. This is done by assessing the planetary strengths and weaknesses by aspect or affliction in the natal chart. The following list shows what signs and planets rule each decantee on the astrological wheel and the effective natural talent they carry when ruling. Aries. The first decantee of Aries is Aries ruled. Planets ruling here are Mars and Pluto. People having this placement begin new projects boldly and decisively. The second decantee of Aries is ruled by Aries Leo. Planets ruling here are Mars, Pluto, and the Sun. These people are magnanimous with much energy, courage, and confidence. The third decantee of Aries is Aries Sagittarius ruled. Planets ruling here are Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune. People with this placement tend to be an authority figure in the religion or education arena. The first decantee of Taurus is Taurus ruled. Planet ruling here is Venus. People here need to satisfy a lust for wealth and status. There is musical singing talent. The second decantee of Taurus is Taurus Virgo ruled. Planets ruling here are Venus and Mercury. People with this placement have an analytical approach in gaining wealth. The third decantee of Taurus is Taurus Capricorn ruled. Planets ruling here are Venus, Saturn, and Uranus. These people strive aggressively to achieve financial security through the use of dynamic action. The first decantee of Gemini is Gemini ruled. Planet ruling here is Mercury. People with this placement possess intellectual ability, but tend to be indecisive. The second decantee of Gemini is Gemini Libra ruled. Planets ruling here are Mercury and Venus. These people are both graceful and charming. They crave intellectual companionship. The third decantee of Gemini is Gemini Aquarius ruled. Planets ruling here are Mercury, Uranus, and Saturn. People having this placement are eccentric. They have a special scientific ability and have startling insight. The first decantee of Cancer is Cancer ruled. Planet ruling here is the Moon. These people are over-emotional. They are attached to the home, mother, and possessions. The second decantee of Cancer is Cancer Scorpio ruled. Planets ruling here are the Moon, Pluto, and Mars. People with this placement face a tormenting battle inside to accomplish their task with power and a deep thoroughness. The third decantee of Cancer is Cancer Pisces ruled. Planets ruling here are the Moon, Neptune, and Jupiter. These people tend to incorporate religion and educational values into the home. The first decantee of Leo is Leo ruled. Planet ruling here is the Sun. People with this placement possess tremendous vitality and recuperative powers, giving form and life to their ideas. The second decantee of Leo is Leo Sagittarius ruled. Planets ruling here are the Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune. These people wish to make their mark in history, cited for important contributions. The third decantee of Leo is Leo Aries ruled. Planets ruling here are the Sun, Mars, and Pluto. People with this placement have vitality, personal magnetism, and a competitive spirit. Their body requires liquids to cool excessive fiery energy. The first decanty of Virgo is Virgo ruled. Planet ruling here is Mercury. People with this placement attract careers in healthcare, hygiene, and food service. The second decanty of Virgo is Virgo Capricorn ruled. Planets ruling here are Mercury, Saturn, and Uranus. These people have good powers of concentration in which they actively strive for success and security. The third decanty of Virgo is Virgo Taurus ruled. Planets ruling here are Mercury and Venus. People with this placement have an eye for fashion and clothing design. The first decanty of Libra is Libra ruled. Planet ruling here is Venus. Marriage is extremely important to these people. They tend to attract a beautiful environment and have artistic talent. The second decanty of Libra is Libra Aquarius ruled. Planets ruling here are Venus, Uranus, and Saturn. These people have a deep understanding of science, electricity, and karmic law. The third decanty of Libra is Libra Gemini ruled. Planets ruling here are Venus and Mercury. These people are gifted with literary ability and are inclined to be artistic. The first decanty of Scorpio is Scorpio ruled. Planets ruling here are Pluto and Mars. People with this placement have a special interest in recycling waste products. The second decanty of Scorpio is Scorpio Pisces ruled. Planets ruling here are Pluto, Mars, Neptune, and Jupiter. These types of people possess psychic abilities. The third decanty of Scorpio is Scorpio Cancer ruled. Planets ruling here are Pluto, Mars, and the Moon. These individuals are moody, concerned with family affairs. Bad aspects cause inheritance problems, alimony, and child support issues. The first decanty of Sagittarius is Sagittarius ruled. Planets ruling here are Jupiter and Neptune. These people tend to become involved in large-scale projects of a religious or educational nature. The second decanty of Sagittarius is Sagittarius Aries ruled. Planets ruling here are Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, and Pluto. People with this placement are militant crusaders for their cause and are able to begin projects. The third decanty of Sagittarius is Sagittarius Leo ruled. Planets ruling here are Jupiter, Neptune, and the Sun. These types of people seek positions of authority and can inspire confidence in others. The first decanty of Capricorn is Capricorn ruled. Planets ruling here are Saturn and Uranus. These are the people willing to work long and hard to attain their goals. The second decanty of Capricorn is Capricorn Taurus ruled. Planets ruling here are Saturn, Uranus, and Venus. People with this placement seek status and security through great wealth. The third decanty of Capricorn is Capricorn Virgo ruled. Ruling planets here are Saturn, Uranus, and Mercury. These individuals have a talent for mathematics, electricity, and fitness. The first decanty of Aquarius is Aquarius ruled. Ruling planets here are Uranus and Saturn. People with this placement can be rebellious when it comes to issues of cosmic or spiritual law. The second decanty of Aquarius is Aquarius Gemini ruled. Ruling planets here are Uranus, Saturn, and Mercury. These people have problems due to intense curiosity, involvement in scientific and occult studies. The third decanty of Aquarius is Aquarius Libra ruled. Planets ruling here are Uranus, Saturn, and Venus. These types of individuals are group leaders with grand social and humanitarian goals. The first decanty of Pisces is Pisces ruled. Planets ruling here are Neptune and Jupiter. People having this placement are strongly connected to the subconscious and very compassionate with a link to hospitals. The second decanty of Pisces is Pisces Cancer ruled. Planets ruling here are Neptune, Jupiter, and the Moon. These people have karmic ties and are quite psychic and artistic. They lavish time on food preparation. The third decanty of Pisces is Pisces, Scorpio ruled. Planets ruling here are Neptune, Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. These people initiate projects on the evolution of mass consciousness in the psychic realm. Cycle N represents a physical or spiritual death and rebirth. The zodiac is comprised of, and we are surrounded by fixed stars. Fixed means they don't move around. Over the centuries, it has been noted that if any natal planet should align in the heavens at the same degrees as a fixed star, one would incur its effects in the world in the course of a life. Fixed stars of some significance. The following list shows fixed stars that carry a reputation. Check natal and progressed stars on your chart to see if your planets are positioned on these degrees. Divta, 2 degrees 11 minutes of Aries. Nervousness, self-destructive. Its effect is neutral. Alpharas, 13 degrees 55 minutes of Aries. Popularity, bestows grace, honor, and independence. Its effect is lucky. Mirac, 0 degrees 1 minute of Taurus. Bestows beauty and talent, fortune through marriage. Its effect is lucky. Hamal, 7 degrees 16 minutes of Taurus. Prone to violence, cruelty, and brutality. Also known as the healer. Its effect is unlucky. Almach, 13 degrees 50 minutes of Taurus. Bestows artistic ability, success in occupations ruled by Venus. Its effect is lucky. Kaput Algol, 25 degrees 47 minutes of Taurus. Beheadedness, injury to the throat, strangulation, also known as the evil one. Its effect is unlucky. Pleiades, 29 degrees 36 minutes of Taurus. Prone to tears, accidents, blindness, also known as the Weeping Sisters. Its effect is unlucky. Aldebaran, 9 degrees 24 minutes of Gemini. Warmongering, aggressive, eloquent, and courageous. Its effect is neutral. Rigel, 16 degrees 26 minutes of Gemini. Humorous, artistic, technical ability, inventive. Its effect is lucky. Bellatrix, 20 degrees 53 minutes of Gemini. Talkative, sudden dishonor, accidents. Its effect is unlucky. Capella, 21 degrees 28 minutes of Gemini. Inquisitive and open-minded, powerful friends. Its effect is lucky. Betelgeuse, 28 degrees 22 minutes of Gemini. Charming with social aspirations. Its effect is lucky. Alpina, 8 degrees 43 minutes of Cancer. Imaginative, acutely sensitive. Injuries to the feet. Its effect is neutral. Sirius, 13 degrees 42 minutes of Cancer. Wealth, fame, pride, ambition, emotional. Its effect is lucky. Castor, 19 degrees 51 minutes of Cancer. Sharp mind, fame, distinction, sudden loss. Its effect is neutral. Pollux, 22 degrees 50 minutes of Cancer. Internal reflection, audacious, also known as the heartless judge. Its effect is neutral. Procyon, 24 degrees Cancer. Sudden success, then disaster. Politics, gifts, and legacies. Its effect is unlucky. Ocellus, 6 degrees Leo. Courage and kindness, blindness. Its effect is neutral. Regulus, 29 degrees 26 minutes of Leo. Nobility, ambition, caution, sudden downfall. Its effect is neutral. Acrux, 11 degrees 29 minutes of Virgo. Interest in astrology and wisdom, also known as the femme fatale. Its effect is neutral. Denebula, 21 degrees 14 minutes of Virgo. Criticism, perseverance. Its effect is neutral. Vindamatrix, 8 degrees Libra. Widowhood. Its effect is unlucky. Spica, 23 degrees 27 minutes of Libra. Glamour, wealth, fame, Honors, also known as the lucky one. Its effect is very lucky. Arcturus, 23 degrees 50 minutes of Libra. Inspired, honor, fame, benefits come through travel. Its effect is very lucky. North Scale, 18 degrees 59 minutes of Scorpio, brilliant mind. Also known as the accursed one. Its effect is unlucky. Agena, 23 degrees 25 minutes of Scorpio, good health, high morals, disillusion through love. Its effect is lucky. Bungula, 29 degrees 3 minutes of Scorpio, philosophical, self-analysis, occult interest. Its effect is lucky. Antares, 9 degrees 22 minutes of Sagittarius, headstrong, adventurous spirit, eye injuries. Its effect is semi-unlucky. Vega, 14 degrees 56 minutes of Sagittarius, luck in politics, generous. Its effect is lucky. Fomalhaut, 2 degrees Pisces, fortune, congenital birth defects, also known as the star of alchemy. Its effect is neutral. Achenar, 14 degrees 54 minutes of Pisces, success in public office with religious benefits. Its effect is lucky. Markov, 23 degrees 6 minutes of Pisces, violence, honors and riches, also known as the star of sorrow. Its effect is neutral. Shiat, 28 degrees 29 minutes of Pisces, imprisonment, murder, suicide, danger of drowning. Its effect is unlucky. Were you born under a lucky star? Lucky times for each astrological sign. To determine a person's lucky times, he or she can create a table to find times that are ruled by the planetary energy ruling his or her sun sign. Pisces contains Neptune energy. Aquarius contains Uranus energy. Capricorn contains Saturn's energy. Sagittarius contains Jupiter and Neptune energy. Scorpio contains Pluto and Mars energy. Libra contains Venus energy. Virgo contains Mercury energy. Leo contains Sun energy. Cancer contains Moon energy. Gemini contains Mercury energy. Taurus contains Venus energy. And Aries contains Mars and Pluto energy. Perpetual planetary hours. Each astrological sign experiences lucky times. A specific planet has been assigned to rule over certain hours for each day of the week, from dawn to dawn infinitely. When a person's ruling planet is highlighted, the world moves magically for him or her. This phenomenon can be an amazing thing. Dawn times are estimated in order to talk about this rhythm. At dawn in an individual's local area, the timing begins in Aries, moving in 2-hour increments through all the astrological signs each day. If the ruler of the sun sign lies outside Saturn's orbit, use the following planets to show lucky times. Aquarius. Uranus energy uses the Mercury hour and day to manifest. Pisces. Neptune energy uses the Venus hour and day to manifest. Scorpio. Pluto energy uses the Mars hour and day to manifest. For each part of the world, dawn time varies due to time zone differences. Local dawn times can be found on local news channels and newspapers. Almanacs list dawn times in Eastern Standard Time. This too must be adjusted according to local time zone. For example, if dawn occurred 45 minutes after 6 a.m., add 45 minutes to the time on each hour to make up for this difference. An astrological chart can be viewed as a straight line, stretching from Aries to Pisces in 2-hour increments starting from the bottom. Each day of the week contains a different planet ruling at dawn. The planet that rules the day will be the ruler for the first hour of that day. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto are not included. According to the table on Wednesday, Aquarius would find the first hour of the day lucky, 6 a.m. estimated. Remember to adjust local dawn time for more accuracy. Other lucky times for Aquarius on that same Wednesday would be 1 p.m., 8 p.m., and 3 a.m. To deduce other lucky hours, one can substitute the ruler of his or her ascendant and natal or progressed luminaries. To interpret one's lucky times, find hours ruled by the sun sign's ruling planet. To use the following table, an example is included for easier understanding. If a Uranus ruled Aquarian wanted to find his or her lucky times for Wednesday, he or she would look for all Mercury ruled hours, denoting fortunate times. As stated before, Mercury is substituted for Uranus because it is a higher vibration of mercurial energy. The lucky time table contains no planets outside Saturn's orbit. The vertical column contains the hours of each day from dawn to dawn. Each sign lasts 2 hours. The horizontal column contains each day of the week. To discover lucky times on the table, cross-reference the day of the week with the time of the day to determine what planet rules what hour. Notice that the theoretical dawn begins at the bottom of the table. The listing reflects the rulers of each hour in a 24-hour period in the order of its rulership. The first hour of any weekday is ruled by the planet that rules the day. We place these planets at the bottom 6 a.m. position. Sunday is ruled by the sun. Monday is ruled by the moon. Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. Thursday is ruled by Jupiter. Friday is ruled by Venus. Saturday is ruled by Saturn. On Sunday, at the moment of dawn, the theoretic moon begins its upward ascent through the signs from dawn to dawn, marking each 2-hour period. The order of the planets ruling repeats throughout the week. The first hour of Sunday is ruled by the sun. The second hour is ruled by Venus. The third hour is ruled by Mercury, and the moon rules the fourth hour. Saturn rules the fifth hour. Jupiter rules the sixth hour, and Mars rules the seventh hour. This order is repeated throughout the week perpetually. So you see, luck is as regular as a heartbeat. The moment of dawn determines the magical moment of each hour for the day. Dawn changes about 2 minutes each day. It works like magic. Pictured here are the planetary rulers for the first 8 hours of each weekday. Begin at the bottom and cross-reference time with weekday to find the planetary ruler for that hour. The next 4 signs cover the second 8 hours of any weekday. Each sign carries 2 planetary rulers, 1 for each hour. The last 8 hours of any weekday's planetary rulers are pictured here. This energy affects both animate and inanimate things in the world. The finished chart would look something like this. When planetary hours change from one to another, it does not happen abruptly. The energies merge into one another until it is completely into the next sign or planet. For best results, use the moment of dawn plus 10 minutes to allow the energy to move wholly into the lucky hour. Variables to consider. In estimating lucky times, always take into consideration a few variables. Caution must be taken into account for severely afflicted stars on certain days. Daylight savings time is a man-made artificial representation of time and changes natural calculations by 1 hour. A brief history of astrology. Astrologers believe that our lives are directly connected to the movement of the planets and the stars. In order to illustrate this concept, one must use an astrological chart and a totally new language. We will use a reference book called an ephemeris, which contains longitude positions of all the planets used in constructing and reading the horoscope. The Earth uses longitude lines to gauge time around the globe. Each 15-degree line westward from Greenwich, England, adds 1 hour of time, or 30 minutes, to the Moon's degree. From Earth, the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn were the only heavenly bodies visible with the naked eye, moving against the backdrop of fixed stars. The Book of Enoch speaks of how an angel appeared to him and pointed to the areas in the sky that held certain powers. He wrote them down. It was one of the books not included in the Bible. The Bible is riddled with references to the stars. Astrology originated in Babylonia, or modern-day Iraq. Ruins and artifacts found in and around Babylonia confirm this. In Babylonia, it was begun by priests. Astrology was reserved for the king and court. Astrology soon spread to Egypt, where its importance was broadened and it was brought to the people. The sun, moon, and stars played a huge role in Egyptian religion. The Egyptians knew the skies well. Egyptian priests knew about the stars and planetary motions. The Great Pyramid, estimated to have been built 4700 BC, is aligned with the North Star as it appeared in the ancient skies. Much of modern astrology comes from the Greeks, who learned their astrology from teachers brought from Babylonia. The Greeks developed the horoscope cast for a person's birthday. They expanded the chart to show the differences not only in the day of birth, but in the hour of the day. The word horoscope means a look at the hour. At the same time, the Greeks were relating astrology to the other subjects of study. They were learning about botany, anatomy, zoology, astronomy, and so naturally grouped astrology with the other sciences of the day. They kept the Babylonian beliefs like the colors associated with the planets, but further observed and refined planetary connections to metals, parts of the body, and other influences defined by what area of the chart planets were in at birth, be a planet rising or setting, or even at the midheaven. Knowledge of astrology spread to the Romans when the Roman armies defeated the Greek armies. By the 2nd century BC, astrology became popular throughout the land of the Romans. When the Roman Empire fell, the barbarians came out of the north, burning books and ideas how ancients learned to read the stars. Enter the Dark Ages. The Roman Catholic Church preserved what knowledge was left. There were no schools. People could not read and write. The Church prohibited practicing magic or reading the stars. In the Eastern world, Arabia, and as far east as India, it remained a science. When the Dark Ages ended around 1200 AD, Arabia reintroduced astrology to Europe. The answer is always within the chart. To give one an idea on how houses within houses work, we will begin with a basic horoscope chart. The chart can be of a natal or a horary type. The theory is that things can be ascertained about people I know by looking at my own chart. All charts are read the same. They just represent different people. The energy within the chart is the same for all people. Question: where will my daughter find work? Houses within houses. The first house represents my chart as the self. My daughter would be a 5th house affair. So I would count forward 5 houses to my daughter's house in the 5th house, my 5th house. Well, the question is about my daughter's job. So, This is where it gets tricky. My daughter's house, fifth house, now becomes the first house of the question. We count forward 6 houses because we are asking a question about her job, which represents Virgo and a 6th house affair. We count forward 6 houses, and the sign on the outside of my chart represents and describes where the job and what type of job it is. Now, if we were going to ask a further question about the job, the outside wheel here would count forward. Say you were going to ask about money of the job. That would be a 2nd house affair of the job. And this goes on. Houses within houses. From looking at my own chart, I can ask questions and get reasonably accurate answers using houses within houses. The first house of any chart describes the personality of the issue or person asking the question. At this point in my chart, the sign on the outside would describe the type of job and becomes the first house of the job, should a further question involving the job be asked. I can ask questions of my own chart to reveal answers to questions about other people in my life through the use of houses within houses.